I've come all this way from London to a museum that's closed. Good morning and welcome to the last day of my tour around Slovenia. And today I'm in the city of Maribor. And in this video we're going to look at war and heroism, execution and plague. And there's a lot of history here. So I'm really looking forward to exploring and seeing what history I'm going to discover. And it's a beautiful day today, 21 degrees. Almost twice what it was in Cran the other day. And the sun is shining and there's no sign of any rain today, which is brilliant. 40 minutes on the train here from Celia and €12.40 for a return ticket. I'm walking down here by the side of the Drava River. And on the riverbank behind me there was a little family of swans. Mother swan and 8 cygnets. Absolutely beautiful to see that. But Maribor was first mentioned as having a castle in the year 1164 and as a settlement in the year 1209, and then became a city in the year 1254. And like most Slovene ethnic territory, Maribor was under the Habsburg rule until 1918. When Rudolph Maister and his men secured the city for the state of the Slovenes, Croats and Serbs, which later joined the Kingdom of Serbia and to form the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. Our old friend Rudolph Maister. Met him in Ljubljana a few days ago in that wonderful statue, and I think we'll discover a little bit more about him here in Maribor as this video goes on. But in 1991, Maribor became part of the independent Slovenia and is twinned with 14 other towns and cities around the world, including the Royal Borough of Greenwich since 1967. Nikola Tesla lived here from 1878 to 1879 and secured his first job here as well. And even Adolf Hitler came here in 1941. On the 26th of April and stood on the bridge which is behind me. But let's head into the city and discover some of the history of this fantastic city and get away from the man with his lawnmower. It's always the same when you film early in the mornings. There's always a man with a lawnmower or a leaf blower or something else to create noise. But let's find somewhere quieter and find some history here in Maribor. It's absolutely beautiful walking along the side of the river. Feels a little warmer than 21 degrees. But just here is the Zametovka, or Madonna Kavisia. I think that's how you say it, probably not. But it's confirmed that it's 400 years old, this grapevine. It's registered in the Guinness Book of Records as the oldest vine in the world still producing fruit. Planted in Maribor here at the end of the Middle Ages during the Turkish invasions between 1572 and 1622. And it's absolutely beautiful looking up at it. Very well preserved, very well kept, and the main trunk of the vine surrounded by railings, probably to keep it safe from vandals. But it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely incredible to see a grapevine of this age. There we go. What else we're going to discover here in Maribor? I think we're going to discover something quite amazing here. Would be nice to make up for my lost day in Cran the other week, well, a few days ago. But let's explore and see what else we can find here. There's a lot of activity down those back streets. It's the building on the river, redoing the river bank, and there's another building site around the back streets. Disappointingly noisy. But never mind, never mind. But there's another old ruined building here, and I can't help looking at the windows because they got snow scenes, Christmas scenes. Oh well, nothing like starting early. Nothing like seeing a snowman and 21-degree heat. This is the main square. Oh, this looks absolutely lovely. And in the middle is a massive column surrounded by statues. But just in front of the column is a water feature. I've seen quite a few of these on my travels. They're really rather fun. Shall I walk through it and get wet? I'll walk as close as I can, there we go. What a laugh. I really like these, and so I think watching other people on the fountains that I've come across, they all seem to like it as well. It's absolutely brilliant fun. But what dominates this square is this column here. It's actually a plague column. Plague decimated the town's population, as with other towns and cities within the region and across Europe. Now, I've seen some of these before on previous videos, travelling around Slovakia, in Jurcic and Prehod and Spišské Podhradí, and there was one in Kran as well, spotted the other day. But it really is absolutely beautiful, this one. I think this is probably the nicest of all the monuments that I've seen. Now, the largest plague epidemics occurred in Slovenia, 1646, 1664 and 1680. And during that time, the town lost about 35% of its population. Plague column was built in 1681, with the original being replaced by this one in 1743. It's absolutely beautiful to look at, with the statues around the sides depicting monks, saints. Absolutely beautiful. But it wasn't just plague which affected Maribor. The town was bombed heavily during the Second World War. So to think that Grapevine has survived the bombings of World War II makes it even more impressive. But it was also here in this square on the 27th of January 1919 that Germans awaiting the American peace delegation in the marketplace were fired on by Slovenian troops under the command of Rudolph Maister. Now, 9 Germans were killed and more than 18 were seriously wounded. And that event became known as Bloody Sunday. Now, of course, we've met Rudolph Maister before in that wonderful statue in Ljubljana. He was a Slovene military officer, poet and political activist. And I believe there's a statue of him here in Maribor. So I'm going to try and find that later on in the video. But the building across the way is the town hall. It was built in 1515 and remodelled in the Renaissance style between 1563 and 1565. And looks absolutely beautiful. See the 3 flags and the coat of arms of Maribor and the date of 1565. Absolutely beautiful building to look up at it. And there's just 2 buildings along, there's another building with shutters and wall murals as well. Absolutely beautiful to look at that. There really is some superb architecture here in this square. But let's head on up towards the cathedral and try and find a location linked to the Second World War. And this is the monument. This is Volkmer's Crossing Monument. And this marks the location for the morning of the 29th of April 1941. In this small alleyway, a group of Slovene partisans blew up 2 German vehicles with explosives. This action was Maribor's first move towards uprising by the partisan resistance against occupation and oppression. And it's nice that they've actually marked this as well. It's quite a basic monument looking at it, but it has so much significance here with the history of Maribor. Absolutely lovely to see that. But let's keep walking. We'll head up towards the cathedral and see what we can discover up there and try and find that statue to Rudolph Maister. This is a busy little square. Lovely markets and cafe culture in full swing. What a beautiful day to enjoy the cafe culture and the market. But there's a monument in the middle there. It's actually known as Florian's sign, and it's a column with a statue of the guardian against fire at the top. It's a reminder of the difficult hours that the townspeople of Maribor faced during the frequent fires in past centuries. And the sign was erected at the end of the 17th century. Numerous fires razed the town to the ground. The biggest ones occurred in 1601, 1645, 1648 and in 1700. And as a consequence, the town was rebuilt several times. There's another monument just up ahead here, and this one is very significant indeed. And this is the Liberation Monument, known as the Spomenik, and it commemorates nearly 700 hostages and rebels who were killed by German forces during the Second World War for attempting to resist occupation. Some words at the front here which says, translates as Resistance, Liberation, War, Victory, 1941 to 1945. Words written by the Slovenian historian Janez Svanca. But on the reverse side is something quite unusual, because it's an engraving which depicts a handwritten letter written by a local Maribor resident, a man called Josip. And he wrote it to his family just before he died. It's here actually in front of me. Now I've got a translation, and the translation reads, "My dear family, I've been sentenced to death today. Don't mourn me, but be brave, just as I am brave. I kiss you all in spirit, mother, father, Majda, Jelko, Tone, and my girl Anka, and all my friends and comrades. Keep me in good memory, and until my last moment, I'll be thinking of you all. Many kisses, the last in spirit, sent from your Joe." And Josip wrote that on the 30th of March, 1942. Many people who were sentenced to death wrote letters home, but few were ever sent. They were nearly all censored. But this one managed to make it out. The largest number of people executed in Maribor was on the 2nd of October 1942, when 143 people were shot in a single day. I can only imagine what the people of Maribor went through during the Second World War. Must have been a truly dreadful time for them. Read about these sort of things happening in Poland and in France with resistance, but it happened here as well. German atrocities here are just unspeakable. But I'm hoping that the City Museum, which is the building just opposite me, may tell me a little more. So I'm going to go in there and take a look around. And this is the museum, and it's closed. It's closed. I can't believe this is closed. I did try and join a tour group. They were trying to get in as well. They actually had an appointment to get in. And one of the ladies in the museum came out and said it wasn't possible for me to visit because they're cleaning inside. I've come all this way from London to a museum that's closed. You can't make this up, you really can't. But the building itself is the old castle. It was built by Emperor Frederick III between 1478 and 1483. But this building is the central keep, or the Bastille, and that actually dates from 1556 to 1562. There is another museum behind this one, about 150-200 yards, but that one is also closed because it's Monday. And the lady informed me that most museums are closed on a Monday. So there we go. I guess I'll have to come back to another day to Maribor. On a day where the museum isn't closed. But let's find something else to do here in the city. This is the cathedral dedicated to St. John the Baptist. Its origins go back to 1164. It's absolutely beautiful inside. Got a lovely cloister there and gardens. It really is peaceful. It's nice to find somewhere that's open as well. But during the war, the Germans occupied this cathedral, used by the Gestapo. They occupied it on the 20th of April 1941, and they used the basement area as a women's prison. Just a shame I couldn't get into the museums, but there we go. Let's walk up back to the other side of the castle and see what we can discover up there. And I believe that's where the statue to Rudolph Maister is. So I'll take a walk across there. It's quite nice looking up at the museum, the open air part at the top. That's the newer section, but this bit here is the older section. This is the part that was built by Frederick III. See the marvellous stonework here as well. Considering the age of the castle, it's in good condition, especially the events of the Second World War. There's still some bullet holes, shrapnel marks in the stonework. I guess it's easier to leave them there as a reminder to history rather than actually repair the building. But it's quite impressive as castles go, and quite different to the castles that I've seen elsewhere here in Slovakia and around Europe. It wasn't built as a fortified castle as such, but more of the style of a house. But as I walk round the corner, you can see the windows, the fortified windows, defensive position. See the thickness of the wall, must be at least 6, maybe 8 feet in thickness. It's quite impressive, quite impressive. There's also a well in the grounds here as well. Some railings on the top. Very nice to see, it's very decorative. There's a statue up the end. And this is to a man called Josip Jurcic. He was a Slovene writer and journalist. Died at age 37 on the 3rd of May 1881 of tuberculosis. He died in Ljubljana. Throughout this video I've spoken a lot about executions, especially those during the Second World War, plague and fire. But witch trials were once commonplace in Slovenia. It's estimated around 1,000 people were executed on charges of witchcraft in numerous locations in the country we now know as Slovenia. The first recorded witch trial was that of Veronica de Sarnis in 1425. Her trial, which resulted in her acquittal, signalled the start of witch hysteria in the region. In 1546, 10 people were burnt at the stake in one day. A common number which has been equalled in other areas in England and around Europe. A similar number executed on other days as well. Mostly women, but around 15% were men who were accused of witchcraft. Now, as to the exact location of all these executions, it was probably in an area to the west of the city, an area known as Koroška Cesta. And until the 18th century, this is where the executions happened. This area has been recorded as having the gallows, as the location for the gallows. And it's most likely that this was the area where those people were shot during the Second World War. It's a bit far for me to go and walk, but all that's there today is a road intersection and I believe a supermarket, and I think there's a petrol station or something there as well, car showroom. So it's been built on, and there's nothing I don't think to see there, but that is the area to the west of Maribor where the executions happened. But there's some gardens just across the way, and that's where the statue of Rudolph Maister is. So let's go and take a look at that. And here we are, the statue of Rudolph Maister, Slovene military officer, poet and political activist. He's also a painter as well. Died on the 26th of July 1934, age 60. You see him not on a horse this time, but standing with his hand on his sword, drawing it out of its scabbard. That's nice. There's even a information plaque about him as well, so I'll have a look at that in a moment. But this is where I'm going to end this video. I want to say a huge thank you to Judith West, who has sponsored my day out today. I've enjoyed a delicious pasta lunch and enjoyed a coffee as well. Can't film in the restaurants here, they're just too crowded and playing piped music, but I've had a great day out. And Judith went on to the Buy Me a Coffee link, which you'll find in the description, and purchased several coffees. It's very generous of you, thank you very much indeed. And it has financed this wonderful day out today. And hopefully when I come back, the museum will be open. But But if you'd like to do as Judith did and follow the Buy Me a Coffee link and sponsor a day out or a coffee or a lunch or whatever, then use the link in the description below and you can get a mention on one of my videos. But there we go. This is where I end this video and my series from Slovenia. I'm going to return to Slovenia. There's so much more here to see and do, and hopefully I'll have some better weather and find some places that are open. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for another travel series very shortly from somewhere else.